All right.
Shake it out. You're ready.
Cool. All right. Caitlin, can we please have a one-word prompt?
Hot cocoa.
Ooh. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I was scrolling through Instagram today and came across that some account posted a headline of some news source that said that there's still a lot of people in the world that think chocolate milk comes from brown cows. What do we think, gang?
I mean, is that not true?
I thought no, Ken.
No?
That's bad news.
Oh, no. And then the strawberry milk comes from the like shaved cows that are like just pink, right?
Dang, down to the skin? They shaved them that closely? Like a razor shave?
Yeah, and they're like,
what barbers are they going to?
Make it more sweet, so they eat a lot of strawberries then. Right? Right?
Yeah. Right?
Hey! Ho, ho, ho! This is the Overtalking Podcast with your host, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ.
Hi, CJ.
This is the show, where we talk over TV shows and movies as chosen by our guests. And this week we watched The Santa Clauses.
Plural. They're a family now.
The Disney Plus original series. They're a family.
Oh, man, that ties back into last week's episode. Got to get them as part of the Fast and Furious family.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wow, that's a movie I would watch. Vin Diesel starring opposite of Tim Allen.
Yeah, who doesn't want to watch that?
I don't know. I would definitely watch it. CJ, I have an announcement before we get too far into it.
Oh.
I am officially engaged.
That's right. Congratulations.
Me. Thank you. It's big news.
Who's the lucky gal?
Very exciting. It's Meg, of course.
Oh, nice. Even better.
Credits aficionado Meg is going to marry me. She said yes.
Wow.
Surprisingly. So, yeah.
We were all shocked.
I know.
All right. So when's the date? You got the planning going already? Or
yeah, absolutely. Hey, when's your date?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
We're working on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, same. So anyway, moving on. We have a great guest this week. We have returning guest Caitlin. Welcome back.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Overtalkers. Hey, Ken. Hey, CJ. Both of you now fiancés as well. Congrats to the both of you formally on the pod. Emily and Meg, best of luck with these two.
Thanks. Yeah. Something I learned recently, similar to learning that brown cows don't make chocolate milk, is that there's a male and female spelling of fiance, and I did not know that prior to this.
I did not know that either.
I have been engaged and didn't know that either.
My mom corrected me after I posted about my beautiful fiance, and she's like, "Yeah, you need to add an extra E because you are her fiance with just the normal E with the tilde,
right?
But she is my fiance with an extra E at the end without the tilde.
Fiance.
Anyway,
hey.
Fiance. It's pronounced the same for both, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. How do we feel about this word? I hate saying it. I think it's a dumb word. I'm still just saying like my partner or like my future wife. I don't like saying the word fiance. I think it's dumb.
I never used it. I was like against it, didn't want to be associated with it. I'm like, hi, this is my boyfriend. That didn't make my now husband, then boyfriend, thrilled. He was more interested in that title. I think some people are, those people that have been dying for new titles their whole life, and then they get it, and it's super fun. Me, not so much. I'm with you. I don't need any more titles. I'm good. I'm Caitlin. I'm chill. Like everything.
Emily does that too. Still refers to me as her boyfriend.
Right. I'm like,
Meg's been doing that too.
Yeah. And now, like, I just think like when you're dating and your boyfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, whatever it is, like, I think it's just like a fun, you're like, there's a more positive connotation. And then when you're like, this is my wife, this is my husband, maybe not as much fun connotation. Like people are like, oh, you just like live in suburbia and she cooks, he works, blah. We don't like that.
Blah.
I don't like that. So I'm like, yeah, I agree with your stance on you don't need any more labels. Labels are for jars, not people. That is not my own quote.
So I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Exactly. So you could just say like, this is Meg. We're getting married in whatever.
Right.
CJ, same thing. You two should just, I was kind of listening to that intro. You two should just maybe coordinate on the dates piece.
Okay.
Just, CJ, you seemed like you were kind of holding that close to the vest.
Yeah.
I think Ken sounded like he wanted to make sure there was no conflict per se.
Yeah, I don't want it to be
that might be problematic.
The same day.
Right.
Yeah. Or maybe we could make it the same day.
Yeah, you just want to go like halvesies on everything? We can just split it.
Why not?
And then maybe like put Overtalking Podcast like logo everywhere. Everything is like yellow and black.
Yeah,
we'll just use all that podcast money we have to pay for our joint wedding.
Right,
it's free
exactly.
advertising to sponsors. Our friends and family who probably already know about it.
Start looking out for sponsors, for flowers, for a DJ, all that stuff. Tell them you'll post it on Instagram. They'll make tons of money, and now you've kind of hoed yourself out for that wedding.
Yes.
I think the big question for you, Ken, is: are you going cake? And if so, is Meg making the cake?
We're probably going cake, and no, Meg's not going to make it, but her boss probably will. Is our best guess?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going donuts. Fuck cake.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Cake is
good call. Now the question is, where are the donuts from, CJ?
Great question, Caitlin. That's a very important decision. So far, we're leaning towards this place called the Beacon Donuts.
Oh.
Their shop is literally in an alley off of Armitage.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they're really good.
Oh.
But yeah, you literally go down an alley and they have a little window that you order from.
I've always wanted to go there. I'm glad you reminded me of this.
Can't recommend them enough. I've already shot them an email, and the response I got was, yeah, we usually do this sort of thing. We'll plan like 2 months before the thing.
Yeah.
So just reach out again when it's 2 months before the thing. It's like,
that's a little scary.
But why? I
know.
Well, why do I have to do? I'm telling you now. What?
For us Type A people, that's not a good response.
Yeah.
Well, CJ, did you give them a date?
I did.
Oh, so you have a date.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Why don't I know the date then?
I knew it. I freaking knew it.
We haven't told anybody yet because we're still working on like save the dates and all that jargon.
Have you told everyone that you're engaged yet?
I think most people know that I'm engaged.
You played that pretty close to the vest too, I think, for a while.
Yeah.
Are we going to have enough lead time to like plan for this wedding? Just tell us.
It's like a week from now. You guys are free, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you give us a season? There's 4 seasons. What?
Damn it.
Wow. Is this because your following is so big? You're kind of like J-Lo and Ben. You're like, we can't give any details away. We're Emily and we're CJ. Like everyone's going to be stalking us. We're going to have helicopters over the venue. We're going to have to hire extra security, get the tabloids away. Yeah. Like I'm starting to see what your rationale is. So do I have to sign like an NDA after this or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone listening, by you listening, you agree also to not tell anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Check the show notes. There's a legal disclaimer. You've agreed to keep it hush hush.
Awesome. So then what's the information that you're about to divulge then? That we're not supposed to share.
I thought I had tricked you into it.
It's Beacon Donuts. That's the information I'm willing to divulge.
Okay. Great. So basically we have to hack into your email, find the Beacon Donut email, and then we'll see that date. So Ken, I don't have skills in that area, but I believe you can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So just
if it's the same password as the Overtalking stuff, then I got it.
Yeah, I definitely reused our podcast password for my own personal email.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Less things to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Who cares?
Well,
all right. I'll divulge one thing. Ready? It's and then because of that.
Wow.
That's why you're keeping it secret.
So it's not even going to be on Earth?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's all around launch schedules then.
Yeah, what's left of it, am I right?
No kidding.
Sad joke.
Wow. Okay. Now it's time to talk about the Santa Clauses coming up on the Overtalking Podcast.
It was different out there. All those kids turned into adults. They stopped believing. And it was magic. So, for the good of Christmas, I'm retiring.
Wow, I didn't even know you could do that.
I think we see what the rest of the world's like as normal people.
I'm making a list of things I want to do, like meet a crossing guard.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast. And once again, my returning guest, Caitlin, because we're talking about the Santa Clauses. Gotta. Disney Plus's new series. I think there's only like 3 episodes out so far. Mm-hmm. But Caitlin, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock for you to describe for someone who's never heard or seen what the show The Santa Clauses is all about.
Ready, go.
Okay. The Santa Clauses is about Santa, a.k.a. Scott. He has been Santa for about almost 30 years now and loving life. He has 2 kids in the North Pole, 1 in the U.S., and all of a sudden, he's trying to do his rounds, and he realizes his magic isn't working. The magic that gets him in and out of the chimneys, on the sleigh. He's having some incidents, and he now has to tell
5,
his close
4,
confidants
3,
that he's not having
2,
as much magic, and he may need
1.
to retire soon.
Time.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah. That was that.
I feel like you got it.
I think I kind of got a good summary. That's the biggest pressure of coming on Overtalking Pod, knowing like my hands are a little clammy right now. I'm like, okay, can you do this for the audience?
Sweating.
Now I know that. Now I know that I can expect that, but you never know. The minute that it just says go, it's like, oh my god, am I ready? It's kind of like, do I have the magic like Santa to give the good 30-second summary? So all those Overtalkers are you're not a shit guest.
Yeah.
I still got the magic after all these years on the pod.
Yes.
After 28 years of coming on the pod.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, like, based on the previous movies, aside from the first one, CJ and I had texted you and said, hey, we're just planning on watching the first episode.
Yes.
And
then what happened, Ken?
Well, and then I watched the first episode and it left on a cliffhanger. And then I was like, well, I guess I got to watch the next one. And the cliffhanger didn't really pay off, but.
Right.
And then, I mean, I didn't, so I texted you. I was like, hey, maybe we can watch the first 2. Because I feel like I didn't get a full sense of like what the series is going to be just based on the first one.
I agree. And
so I think that helped a bit.
I have to say, for all the Overtalkers who are unaware, Ken particularly has disliked the Santa Clauses following the first one.
As well.
But Ken has been the most vocal.
Not as much as you, Ken. I have your ratings here. It's pretty bad.
Ken has been the most vocal. CJ has a die-hard love for Comet, and that has kind of, I think, helped his interest in these movies and now this series. So I have been, again, like, I've put my armor on. I'm ready to take some shots from Ken. But I do feel confident that these 2 episodes are heading in the right direction. And I feel like we have a possible good series ahead of us. I am not like, oh no, here we are. Like, I'm embarrassed. I feel proud to be the guest today discussing these 2.
I chuckled a few times. There's some good jokes in there.
Yes. And classic Disney. We all know that Disney, while it's for kids, they intentionally plan adult humor so that the poor parents, aunts, uncles, babysitters, whoever's watching this with their children are entertained. So I felt like this is very family friendly, but they have definitely the adult humor, which I want to get into. I'm sure you all picked up on the way that they were talking about how Santa's magic wasn't working.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. He's having some performance issues, it seems.
Yes.
It was literally like so good because I'm like, yes, this makes a good Disney movie or series. Always having that adult component because we need that. And it was really funny having Santa sit down with Mrs. Claus, aka Carol, and be like, so, yeah, I'm having some performance issues and I've been afraid to tell you.
And then she's like, well, men of your age that are in there, they start to.
It was perfect. Like, so good. I really enjoyed like that. And I think, again, like maybe some of the movies in the past have been a little bit, less realistic. This is like such like a kind of like a relatable in a weird way. It's relatable, even though this is quite a fictional world with all the characters and everything. But it was funny to me.
Yeah. I definitely, I don't know if you're going to be shocked or not because I've already texted saying, let's watch more of this. But I definitely feel like this is a step in the right direction for this series, especially after part 3, which was borderline unwatchable.
Oh my God.
This one, that one hurt my eyes. I think it may be what I've said before. But this one is very watchable, and I'll let you know, I watched episode 3 as well.
Wow.
So, okay. Wow. I am so happy. Like, I am bursting with joy. I feel like Cindy Lou Who when she watches the Grinch like grow his real heart. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, yes, thank you.
Yeah, this is better for sure. I'll contain my discussion to just the first 2 episodes.
Okay, yeah, because
it is better in general, and I definitely think it's got more adult tailored humor. There's definitely some dumb stuff for kids, like plays on like Christmas songs that the elves sing that it feels cringy. But
you mean elves just want to have fun? That song?
Elves just want to have fun.
So for the guests out there, after one of the Christmas evening ends, they start to turn like the Santa's workshop into like a club for elves, and the elves are now having like a DJ that the song is tailored from girls just want to have fun to elves just want to have fun. So just kind of sing that tune in your head while you're listening right now. And I'm like, fuck, I've lost Ken. Oh my God, this already, we are dead and done. Like, no, I was so upset because I'm like, okay, I can't even handle this. Like, this is not going to work. But we've recovered. We have recovered. That was useful for the children who probably think that's funny. And again, adults know the song, so there's their reference. But that was a fear of mine. I was like, we're screwed. We're never going to get past this moment.
I was afraid too. That was early on in the first episode when I was still forming an opinion about the show. Because there were still some good jokes up to that point, but then I was like, oh, no, I don't know which way this is going now.
Yeah.
But it definitely got better, and then it took some weird turns in that first episode as well. I definitely feel like Tim Allen has inserted himself into some of the writing a little bit, if you know anything about his political background.
Or
leanings.
Oh wait, no, I don't.
He's more of a right-wing kind of guy, and eventually
so
sitting down with the elves. I know he's sitting down with the elves, and he's talking about who's naughty or nice. Going back and forth, and he says some interesting things like, you can't even wish people Merry Christmas anymore. And that also there's no longer a naughty list. There is a misunderstood list now. Yeah.
Yes.
Felt like it was leaning very much towards PC culture there. I wanted to get your guys' take on that scene.
So glad you brought that up.
As soon as it started going that way, I was like, this is Tim Allen, not Santa Claus speaking.
I didn't know that. Yes. I thought it was interesting. I didn't understand the writing behind it. So then I think your summary makes sense. Like, this is why. I didn't mind the difference of labels personally as a teacher. I don't think that we should label people naughty or nice. I think there's plenty of gray. And I think certain behaviors that we don't think are appropriate are not always things that can be controlled. And so we need more flexibility there. So I liked the misunderstood list. I kind of thought that was good. Maybe, and then you can have a misunderstood year. And then maybe your next year, it's like, okay, things are going better for you and you're on the nice list again. And then the part that Tim goes, not Tim, Santa. Santa goes, so wait, the misunderstood list gets all presents too? And they were like, yes, Santa. But the funny part was like one of the head elves in the scene, she was like, and then I would have so much power, because she wanted to like take it over because this was too stressful for Santa, because he's getting kind of grumpy now, which I did like grumpy old man vibes from him. That was kind of funny. And she was like, I see what power can do to people. And it was like a pretty funny joke.
That's a good line.
That was cute.
I did like when we meet their kids. We meet like Santa and his new wife have 2 kids. And at first I was like, who are these people? Where did they come from? What's happening? Is that the original kid? Did they just replace the actor? Like, oh no, these are
we never met
new kids
them.
he's had.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But and then I do like that they sort of acknowledge, like, wait, yeah, what if kids only grew up at the North Pole and they have no idea what like real life is like? Yeah, they would be pretty weird children.
I know. It was very like, it did touch on like my feelings about like, oh my gosh, technology sometimes is too much. Social media is too much. All of this virtual reality, ordering things to your door within an hour, all that stuff. Like, so for the audience, his oldest son, you know, he lives in the US, but his oldest son in the North Pole, he's never lived anywhere else. So he does virtual reality. He has like those goggle things. I don't even know what they're called, but I'm sure you guys do.
VR goggles.
Yeah. Yes, VR goggles. So instead of living in like where you would think like these alternate like universes, he was like mowing the lawn in suburbia and like
in Topeka, Kansas.
Yes, in Topeka, Kansas, and like walking around and like going to like the post office. Like he just wanted to know what it was like to be a person in a world that was not so ridiculous as the North Pole is. And I was like, oh my God, that was so sweet. I'm like, see, we want like human connection. We want real life experiences, and also to value like sometimes it's the little things that are cool and not like, you know, I would never consider mowing the lawn cool, but like for me, like folding laundry, I love it. Like I love doing laundry. Like it's just awesome.
It does touch on like a lot of video games these days are like power wash simulator. Like you just clean cars. That's the game.
That's so strange.
I played that.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
Because I think it goes back to like us as humans just want to complete tasks. We get that little dopamine hit when we like check something off our list.
Oh,
yes.
I have a question for the both of you now because I love lists. Do you ever write a list and then you didn't put something on it, a task per se, and then you went and completed the task and realized now you've got to add it to your list and then immediately cross it off because you just did it?
Absolutely.
Not me.
100%.
You? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Ken? No?
No, not me. I mean, I make lists and I check things off of them. But if I do something that wasn't on the list, I don't add it and then check it off.
Oh,
That's
I need that
time.
hit.
I don't know. I just want to be done.
CJ and I, we need that hit.
We need that. I got to ride the dragon, baby. Give me that hit.
I understand it though. Yeah, I get it.
It's very satisfying because it just helps me like the days where I'm like down on myself. If I think I've just been like a lazy bum all day, it helps to be like, well, no, you did some little things that needed to get done, like laundry, as sort of simple or ordinary that is. It's like, well, no, that is a thing that needed to get done, and now you have clean clothes to wear. That's
totally
a good thing. You weren't a complete piece of shit today.
Well, and speaking of lists, one of the other issues that's happening in this series is that Santa's lists are kind of short. He doesn't have as many people who are believing in him all around the world, and so that's impacting his magic and his performance issues. And so he's finishing his routes on Christmas night much faster because his list, like he's like already done, and his head elf Noel, who I love, he's so cute. Was just like, that's all we got, Santa. And it just brings his magic down. It brings his performance down. So I'm sure in the coming episodes, we're going to have to find ways, or we're going to watch them find ways to get that magic up in terms of
performance enhancing drugs.
Correct. Yes. Pills for everyone. Who knows?
Santa's got to go talk to Big Pharma.
I'm sure Big Pharma will oblige very quickly.
Yeah. Real quick, I didn't even mean to do this on purpose earlier, but something I wrote down that I did want to talk about was Santa's donut gun.
Oh my God.
He was like, cruller me. And he shoots a donut in the air out of a t-shirt cannon, basically.
Yes.
So that he can do these like flying flips and tricks to then catch it in his mouth. Now, my question for you both, if you had a donut gun, what donut are you going with?
Oh my God.
Ooh, okay. I'm basic, as we all know. So I'm going just a normal donut with vanilla icing on the top.
Now, when you say normal, do you mean like a cake donut or a yeast donut?
Thank you for clarifying,
cake donut.
CJ.
Cake donut, yes.
Cake donut. Okay, wow.
Classic. Yes. I love
vanilla icing and some sprinkles?
No sprinkles.
Oh, no sprinkles. All right, Ken.
No.
Okay.
Too hard.
I like how Ken just did the sign language no for all those people who can't see us. That was really awesome. Yeah, this is no. It's a flat hand on the bottom, but yeah.
Oh, wow. I've been doing this the whole time. I must have picked up on that. That's so strange.
And if you want like sign language stand up, it's a flat hand and then an upside down peace sign and then just go like this, like bounce twice kind of. This means stand up.
What's yes then?
Shaking yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Closed fist.
I don't do that one, but okay. Good
That's
to know.
okay. Well, we take quite some
nod my head, right?
Yes, you could just nod your head. That's another form. But again, we all know I like to mention that I have a face for a podcast, so we don't do video. We're not on YouTube. We're not out there. Okay, so not yet.
Yeah, what donut for you?
The power of yet. Okay, so my donut. This is really tough.
Agreed. Because you got to remember, this is one purpose. You get one donut over and over.
Right. And it's hard because like sometimes you're in a mood for sprinkles. Sometimes you're in a mood for like a big yeast one that has like just plain icing. So if I had to, I would go with an old fashioned that had like just like a vanilla bean old fashioned, like a vanilla drizzle on top.
What's an old fashioned?
What's an old fashioned? Oh my God.
It's a cake donut where the top looks like it's kind of separating around the ring.
Yeah,
it's very like heavy, but it's covered in icing still.
You would like it because it's plain, but it's really good.
Like buttermilk old fashioned. Is that what we're talking about?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I would do that because I am a sprinkle girl. Will be till I die. But I don't feel like practicality-wise, the sprinkles make sense to fly through the air and into my mouth. I'm going to have like a sprinkle up my nose. I'm going to have it in my eye. Like I need like there's wind, there's logistics to consider. So that's why I would normally always choose a sprinkle donut, vanilla and a cake specifically. But I don't think that suits the donut gun.
Wow, you really put a lot of thought into that.
I know. So you're like, wow.
I didn't think about the sprinkles separating, huh?
Yeah. Before I share mine, Ken, follow up. Where is that vanilla donut from? What's the one you're picturing in your head?
Okay, clearly I don't frequent donut shops as much as y'all. So we're going straight up Dunkin' Donuts, baby.
Okay, that's what I figured.
That's okay. You know what you like?
Donut shops.
You live in the suburbs.
Stan's Donuts is pretty good too, but
I have a donut shop for you in the suburbs. That's 5 minutes from your house.
Okay,
there you go.
What is it?
So, I'm not getting paid for this, and I'm not getting sponsored, but it's Joe Donut. They're
Joe Donut.
Yeah, there's one in Niles, one in Old Orchard, and one in Glenview.
Okay.
So
Ken, you got a homework assignment.
All
right.
I will be following
check back in next week. Yes. Cool. I appreciate it. Thanks.
That's a good question, CJ. I would go Joe Donut now that I'm back to the suburbs, but I would also go Donut Vault because that is like a classic, ride or die when I was a city gal, a couple blocks from my place. That was my
great choice,
my stomping grounds. So CJ.
I think initially I was with you, Caitlin. I love a buttermilk old fashioned. Mm-hmm. That's usually like if I'm going to get a donut, it's probably that. But then I was thinking like okay, putting myself in the shoes of Santa Claus, I get to basically eat these donuts without any repercussions, right? Like he tries to get fat in one of the episodes.
Yes.
But so like, I think it's a really close between a buttermilk old fashioned or just like a plain Krispy Kreme glazed. Oh. Just a super soft, melts in your mouth immediately, yeasted donut. Just so like light and fluffy that I can't see ever getting sick of that. Even if I were to eat like 10 in a row, they go down so easy.
Yes, they do.
So I think I'm leaning towards that and just a plain Krispy Kreme yeasted glazed.
That's a beautiful choice. And from a donut connoisseur, I would expect nothing less.
Thank you. Yes. But love a good shout out to Donut Vault. They're who I credit like falling in love with donuts.
I know.
Having theirs. So good.
Yes. Donut Vault.
But they don't cater weddings?
I don't.
What's going on there?
We decided on Beacon. I don't know. They've got a different style that we think is better for wedding.
Yes.
Okay.
I looked into, I think, like 4 donut bakeries for my wedding. And CJ, I would agree. Donut Vault did not really pan out.
As much as I love them.
Correct.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, getting back to the show, I have a couple questions about Mrs. Claus.
All right.
Because, I don't remember the third one that much because it was just so painful to put my eyeballs towards the screen while it was on. After it was off, it was easier to look at the screen, but so I remember at the end of the second one, which is all about her and she was, I believe, a school teacher.
Correct.
Right?
She was a principal, but yes,
principal.
Previously
okay.
a teacher, I assume.
And then at the end of it, after she became Mrs. Claus, she did this whole post-credits dance scene in a fat suit, which was just the worst.
So bizarre.
That was cringy.
Was she wearing that in the third one? I don't remember.
No. They just kind of made her look older.
Okay.
They didn't fatten her up.
How did they justify that?
The dance scene, you mean?
Well, her like magically being transformed into the jolly old Mrs. Claus and then being back to basically normal in the next movie.
Healthy diet and exercise, Ken. I mean, there's no secret here. What do you...
Well, I mean, apparently it's all magic, right? I don't know. I'm probably trying to look too much into this.
I do think this question is a little out there, but I'll entertain it.
Thank you. That's fair.
Let's just say that she has nothing to do all day besides knit and be nice to the elves. So I bet she's got a Peloton. She's got an elf personal instructor. And I'm sure she has some healthy elf chef who is like feeding her at dinner time. Meanwhile, Santa is like doing his like blender full of milkshakes and candy canes and chocolate and all that.
Yeah. By the way, I think it's a Pelphaton.
Where that?
Dad joke.
I don't know if I get that. What?
Pelf. There's elf in the Pelphaton.
Oh,
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
There for sure are like elf spin instructors who are keeping her entertained. Okay. Meanwhile, Santa's busy 24/7.
All right. Well, another follow up then.
Okay.
In I think the first episode, she's talking about how she doesn't have any identity and doesn't even remember her first name.
Yes.
What is that about?
I think it's true. And like in all the fairy tales and stuff, can you name anything Mrs. Claus does besides like
literally
sit in a chair?
Yes.
She did have a whole life before this and did have a name.
But she's saying since she's moved to the North Pole, she has no identity. And now that she's taken the role of Mrs. Claus, she's realized, wait a second, they're literally in society. And for those who celebrate Christmas, all you think of Mrs. Claus as a chubby lady with glasses who sits in a chair, knitting by a fire and tending to Santa's whatever. I don't. Okay. And we know that like Santa's story is he's so busy. He's working on toys all year. He's checking the lists, checking them twice. Like we don't know any like narrative of what she does bring to this Christmas story.
I sort of appreciated that because it's sort of acknowledging like, hey, yeah, this is kind of shitty that she doesn't even get a name and like we know nothing about her.
Right. Meanwhile, we all know she's probably holding down that fort because Santa's got too much going on. And I like to quote the My Big Fat Greek Wedding, when they say that we know the men is the head, but the women, we are the neck, and we can turn the head any way we want. And so I kind of think of it as that, where she is doing the Lord's work behind the scenes and getting zip credit, doesn't know all she's doing, is she's bored. She's raised her kids. What's left? And I think it's kind of I bet a lot of people in society can connect to that. So I enjoyed that kind of adult narrative as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that, because I was genuinely confused about that. But yeah, I guess from her perspective, if she's just living the role of Mrs. Claus for 30 years effectively, or maybe not quite that long, but
28,
only is acknowledged as that and not leaving the North Pole, right? Then she, I guess that would be true. But I don't know. There's still some BS there, because I'm pretty sure her family visited and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure they would have called her by her name, and I don't know. I feel like she would at least remember her first name. But regardless, I'm looking too much into it. Whatever. All right. Do y'all have any more points? Otherwise, I'm ready for trivia, if you guys are.
I would just want to bring up one quick point. CJ, sure. I am sad that Comet really had no...
I know!
Yes. There was one mention, but I miss that lovable, goofy face. Yeah. That I was seeking that the whole time.
I don't know. I think it's too early. Who knows?
Too early to tell. We don't know.
Maybe. Zero farts. Zero farts in the show so far. What the hell?
Giggling
and one character I did miss, his niece with the red hair, Molly or something along those lines. I really liked her, and I liked her personality, and I was hoping that she would reprise her role. So, but again, we only seen 2 episodes, so we don't know. Maybe she'll come about. And I do want to just point out one other thing, like in terms of making this series, I am so happy that all of the characters reprise their role true to fashion. That's always the best way to see something. Even if the narrative and the story isn't the greatest, at least all the faces make sense to you, and the new people are welcomed in, but they're not taking over any of those main character roles by some rando we don't care about.
Yeah, very much agree.
Go Disney on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for trivia.
All right. Well, it's time for... Hey, did you know that? That's right. This is the part of the show where we pit our guest and CJ head-to-head to see who knows the most about what we watched. Caitlin, CJ, are you two ready?
Yes.
Ho, ho, ho. All right. First question. Tim Allen's daughter, real-life daughter, has a role in this show. Whom does she play? First person to answer gets the point.
Is it his Santa Claus's eldest son's wife?
Okay.
Oh, that's a good guess. I agree with that, but just for purposes, it'll be the Sarah, which I know is not his daughter, from the couch in the beginning when he was she threw a wine bottle at him.
Oh,
that's not his daughter.
I hate to tell you,
I know it's not his daughter.
Casey Wilson.
I know. I think you're right, CJ. I'm just going to forfeit the question.
Okay. Well, I'm doubting my answer, so we'll circle back to that one once I double check what I have written down is correct.
Okay.
But I've locked in your answers.
Thank you so much.
We'll get to that in a second. Next question. Tim Allen pushed for this show to focus specifically on Christmas. Is that true or false?
False.
I hope false.
It's true. Yeah. Apparently in the last 2 episodes of the show, they'll be focusing more on the religious aspect of Christmas because Tim Allen specifically pushed for it.
Tim. Okay, that's, I think, yeah. And I feel like I said the answer that I really wanted to be true. So that's a big bummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a big bummer. That goes back to him pushing all that PC culture stuff, which, some of it's fine, but
not being accepting. Someone's getting old and crotchety and rigid.
And having performance issues.
And having performance issues, yes. Probably. All right. Well, next question. How long has it been since the last Santa Claus movie?
Oh, fuck.
28 years.
No. Well, wait, since the
last
third.
one?
No, yeah. It's got to be, that's got to
know.
be, what, 2000?
I'll say
I'm going to say
10?
13 years.
Yeah, Caitlin's closer. It was 16 years.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, next question. How long has it been since the first movie?
28
years.
Yeah, 28 years. Good job. Okay. That is correct. All right. Next one's fun. It's multiple choice.
Ooh.
What is the tagline for this miniseries? Is it A, Santa's hanging up his hat? Is it B, still Kringle and ready to jingle? Is it C?
That's good.
Is it C, you have to read the fine print? Or is it D, Santa Claus is coming to town? Specifically written, Santa Claus is coming to town. Right.
I'm going to go C.
I'll do B just because it made me chuckle.
B is correct, yeah.
Nice.
Good job. All right, before we get to the final question, I want to circle back to the first one because I had it right. Whom does Tim Allen's real-life daughter play on this show? And neither of you were correct. It's Santa Claus's daughter, Sandra. That's his real-life daughter.
He has a daughter that little?
I was surprised as well, which is why I was double-checking.
Wait a second.
I guess
so. Apparently.
Really?
Not sure how that quite... Yeah,
how
he
old?
must have had a kid much
I gotta
later in life.
find out how old he is. I'm just curious. I'll do
13.
that.
Hey,
she's 13?
He's 13. She's 13.
She's 13.
How old is Tim Allen?
He's got to be 60.
He's got to be 65.
He is 69. Nice.
Holy
He's 69?
cow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So he had her at 56. He had her at 56 then.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm still glad I forfeited that question because I would have never guessed her of all characters.
Mm-hmm.
He got married to his latest wife in 2006.
Okay. Well, that is definitely a fun fact.
Yes. How are we doing on points, CJ?
We are tied.
Okay, well, this is the tiebreaker, potentially. No, it has to be. All right. What is the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score in percentage, closest without going over? And to make it fair, I want y'all to text me your answer because, you play off of each other potentially. So text me your answer. What is the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes in percentage? Closest gets the win.
Rotten Tomatoes, critics. Critic score? Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ooh. Let's try that.
And it's for the whole series, to be fair.
Hard.
yeah.
We haven't watched. Okay.
Okay, I have your answers. Okay. CJ, you answered 63%. And Caitlin, you answered 49%.
Oh.
Yes, but the real answer is 59%. So CJ, you're our winner.
Wow.
Which is still a splat, unfortunately. I think it's just in the splat range. But, yeah.
That I'm thrilled with that high of a
59. Yeah.
I'm from the critics.
I'm sure significantly higher than 3. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be.
Yeah, it for sure is higher than 3. Even though I wouldn't agree with that. But no, I genuinely feel like this is a good series. This was a worthwhile remake, I feel like.
I just checked. The third one got a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I was checking that as well.
That is brutal.
Yikes.
I think I remember our conversation and I was like, they at least deserve 20% for making a film.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's funny. So
what do you think the audience score was on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh.
I'm thinking still in the 60s, but maybe higher, maybe a 67.
I'll go 72.
Yeah, 68%.
Okay.
So, wow. Higher.
Yeah. So that's positive.
It's not bad. Yeah.
So I feel like we can recommend that people watch it. It's 33-minute episodes. It's on Disney Plus. It's kind of like something you can have on the background and in the evening when you're kind of in this Christmas spirit.
Well, let's see. I think it's time for ratings then.
Ratings.
Miss Caitlin, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate so far, at least the first 2 episodes?
What I have seen.
The Santa Clauses.
And Caitlin, we don't, since you weren't on the episode for the original The Santa Claus.
Correct.
What would you give that movie 1 through 10?
This is where Ken and I definitely disagree. I believe Ken gave that
through this before too.
I think we might have, and so my answer might differ because I don't remember things well. But I would say, again, I didn't care for Santa Claus 1 versus the other couple that precede it or follow it. So I don't know. I'll say a 6.
Okay. Because then, okay. So now you've given it a 6 on the first one, a 7 on the second one, and an 8 on the third one.
Oh, come on. Jesus Christ.
So now, with that being said, the show.
So that being said, the show, I've watched 66 minutes, 2 episodes. God, it's an 8.5. I really enjoy it.
Wow.
I enjoy it. Like, honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. And I don't know do you know how many episodes they're doing in total by chance?
6.
Oh, perfect. Because I was going to say, I'm not sure I would hang in for 10. 8 would be a maybe, but 6 is the perfect amount, I would say. That's 3 hours. Like, it's great. Like, everything I think would be good.
So you will at least admit that this is better than 3.
By a half a point.
Yes, in my heart of hearts. I'm not gonna be stubborn on this. I'm gonna be genuinely realistic about my answer. Ken, yes.
And then if you were being realistic about part 3, what would you rate that?
Here we go. All right. Do you want the truth? I'll give you the truth.
Okay. Ken can't handle the truth.
I did. I was waiting for you to say that. Okay. I was stubborn on that answer and maybe slightly unrealistic. I do enjoy it more than most, I would say. So, but an 8 probably is unfair. It's more like a 7, and that's all I'll say. I know that's still higher than you would go, but
I'll leave it. We'll keep whittling that down every time.
Okay, next year we'll see how it's going.
All right, CJ.
Ken, why don't we go with you?
Yeah, me? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Ken, as a reminder, you gave the first one a 10. That's a perfect
it's
movie
a really
in your eyes.
Good movie, yeah.
The second one you gave a 2, and the third one you gave a 1.5. Quite possibly your lowest rating ever.
It's up there for sure, down there.
Down there.
All right. So for me, listen, 8.5 is pretty high. This is better than part 3, so it's at least a 2, right?
Oh my God.
Is it better than part 2? Yes, it's better than part 2.
Oh.
Is it better than part 1, though? No, obviously not. But I think an 8.5 is too high. So I will go, I don't know. I mean, I'm still watching it, and I will finish it. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's watchable. It's short enough, and it's fine. Maybe it a... I'll go to 7.
Wow.
I'll give it a 7.
Yeah. Yay! Okay.
7.
Oh, I literally have the Christmas spirit just like bursting from my heart right now.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
My heart grew 3 sizes when I watched the first episode. So.
Aww.
Yeah. And by the way, I checked, at least for the ratings that are in our rating spreadsheet, Ken, that is the lowest rating you've ever given, was the third Santa Claus movie.
And I'm going to be proud to be a part of that instead of hurt.
Good. Let's see. For me, I did chuckle a couple times. I'm pretty bummed to hear that it goes into religious stuff later in the season. That's kind of a weird turn to take when the whole thing is they keep hitting you over the head with, it's magic. This is magic.
Right. There's no Jesus word in there.
This is not how you've explained the whole story, how it works. He is a continuous character of the universe. They even say it's not an individual. It is like a thing Santa. But since I haven't gotten to those episodes yet, I chuckled a few times. I miss my boy Comet. I don't think I'll keep watching. I don't know that I really need to know how this turns out.
Yeah, you do.
And I'll just text you guys and you can tell me what happens.
It's an easy bite-sized piece of Christmas cheer.
I guess, but there's so much content out there that I would rather be spending my time
33 minutes of your life.
If you want something Christmassy, this is easy.
I don't.
Right
I rarely do though. That's the thing. I don't really.
Well, I think that's the difference between you and me, because I do.
Yes,
I mean, despite everything up to this point, I do actually really enjoy Christmas. So
we do know that. We know.
Yes.
I get my Christmas fill from A Christmas Story, and that's about it.
All right.
So maybe I'll say like 6.5.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
I was really debating that.
I know.
As well.
But
I gave the first one a 7, the second one a 6.5, and the third one a 4. So this is apparently in line with the second movie.
Right. Okay. Fair.
Which, that feels.
I would still say a
right to me.
7 would be more accurate, but that's okay. We can disagree.
Caitlin, this is for me.
That's true. That's true. Well, Caitlin, thank you for joining us and forcing us to watch something that I'm kind of enjoying. Actually, very surprisingly.
I really am so overjoyed to have participated once again in the pod. I always love chatting with the both of you. And I'm really happy to not have taken bullets on my choice, because it has hurt in the past. And I'm so happy to have a really pleasant conversation. Not that the others haven't been, but thank you.
I'm glad that this one experience will make your entire Christmas season, I'm sure.
Seriously.
So
it is.
You're very welcome, and enjoy.
This was like the biggest gift under the tree. So maybe I can tell my husband he doesn't need to get me anything anymore.
Tell Daniel.
Just a really quick reminder that earlier in the episode, Caitlin basically called Ken a Grinch. So I just want to put that out there. that her analogy basically implied that Ken is a Grinch. Anyway, go on.
No, now he isn't the Grinch who stole Christmas anymore, or stole all of my joy. He's the Grinch that has given the joy back.
Wow.
And that is...
There we go.
So sweet.
A Christmas miracle.
Yes.
It's a Christmas miracle. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh, we need to just get CJ to watch the rest, and then all will be well in the world.
Yeah, CJ's been kind of grinchy.
Do you think Emily will like it?
She watched it with me. I don't think she mentioned like maybe 2 parts of it. I don't think she'll be continuing to watch it either.
All right, damn it.
Yeah. Well, if I run out of shows to watch somehow, then maybe I will finish it. But
got a month.
That's a big if.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hold out hope there. Okay. Well, thanks once again for having me on. It is such a joy.
Always a pleasure. CJ, what do we have to plug?
You can follow us on all the things at Overtalking Pod. Go to our website, overtalkingpod.party. Type in the word Caitlin. Find all the previous episodes. Email us, overtalkingpod@gmail.com, or call or text us at USACat1591.
Oh, no, they're here.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, they tend to be a little more festive, which is at least nice. The Overtalking Overlords, as they like to be referred around this time of the year, have arrived. They are our ghastly, otherworldly, yet still festive landlords who show up at the end of every episode to remind me to remind you, if you like this show, please go on Apple Podcasts and rate and review. Reviews are what help people find this podcast. Also, we spend any money in advertising. So if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. And the Christmas cheer, we would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And they're kind of gesturing. No, we can't share that yet. Okay. So what they're getting at is obviously we're talking about something Christmassy before December, which is kind of unusual. So we have some big news coming up that we're very excited to share. So stay tuned to the feed. Is all we got.
Big old tease.
What?
Yes.
I'm going to be announcing something soon, so keep your eyes on that podcast feed.
Keep your ears peeled, as we like to say. That's it. That's all we got.
And as we always say,
bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week's special guest was Caitlin. Music by Justin Peters. Logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.